Hello and welcome to this White Fox Talking podcast short. Basically, I'm Mark Charlie Valentine and I'm joined by Seb. Hello, Seb.
Hello there.
And online we've got podcast sponsor Conrad Phillips of Energy Impact. Hello, Conrad.
Good morning.
Good morning. Whereabouts are you in the world, Conrad? If you can tell us.
I'm in Andorra, as you well know.
Yeah.
Where I'm trying my best to reside full time. Unfortunately, the UK keeps dragging me back at periods, but got back to my little paradise yesterday.
Yeah, and what a beautiful place it is. So basically, all it is, Conrad, we just thought, because we're approaching podcast 75, I've been at it 3 years now.
And congratulations, mate. Very proud of you.
Thank you. It's been a bit of a drag.
I've watched nearly all.
Yeah. Thank you. Some of them I don't like listening to again. I'll be honest. Some of them have been quite difficult because of the topics we're getting involved in with the basically mental health and mental well-being. But we're approaching our 75th episode, and you've been with us since the start. So basically, we thought we'd try and track you down, which we've managed to at last. Get you online. Firstly, to say thank you very much, and thank you for the support of Energy Impact. And then also, without putting you on the spot too much, if you could introduce yourself and also give us a bit of an idea why Energy Impact are so keen on helping sponsor us and helping us help others.
Yeah, I mean, it's really simple. Obviously, I'm Conrad Phillips. I'm a businessman. I own a few businesses, Energy Impact being my main one. There's a couple of reasons. Mainly, I'm not trying to big you up, but we've only known each other, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. First impressions count, and I really hit it off with you. Albeit mostly drunken conversations, but the
best.
We were very aligned, and as well, I've suffered from mental health pretty much most of my life. It comes and goes in waves, but there was 5, 6 years maybe where I was bad, and it's something that is dear to me, and you see it day in, day out with your friends and colleagues and clients, and especially men's mental health. So it was a subject that I've had an awful lot of counselling. I've had extended periods of time in the Priory. Many different abuses, different substances, different activities. Just to get through the day. So when you said you was going to do this, I thought, it's something that is of interest to me. It's something that has affected my life, affected my wife's life, my children's life. So being involved in something that's going to do good in this subject is I do it. I follow you regularly. I promote you regularly. I'm trying to get Andy Manston to come and do one for you. So is Scott.
Right.
He'll be at my daughter's wedding next month. So we're going to get on him. That's why. And you deliver it very well because you're honest. I'm aware of your previous issues. You're aware of my previous issues. I know you've wanted me to do a full-blown podcast, but it's not the right thing to do because it involves my family and my in-laws. It's just not the right thing to do. My mental health is quite stable at the moment because I've learned how to cope with it. More importantly, my wife has learned how to cope with it. And I have a good bunch of support. And I'll be honest with you, Charlie, since I moved to Andorra, the quality of the people here compared to the quality of some people in the UK, and the way that you live your life here. It's that in itself is a remedy for mental health. I can absolutely assure you. Waking up. Unfortunately, you can't see my view because if I go outside, I'll lose the Wi-Fi. But waking up, within the mountains, whether it be the summer or the winter, is just amazing. And I know you do a lot of outdoor activities, which I wish I could come and do if I was fitter. Because I do enjoy, this environment, and I love the people of Aronsell. You spend a lot of time here. That's why I got involved, and I want to continue to be involved. It's purely because I think you do great work. I hit it off you straight away, and it's a little bit of publicity for us, but that's not the main reason I've done that. By no means. It generally was just to be part of something I think is good and positive.
Yeah, well, thank you, Conrad, and for you to speak partially there about having gone through your own issues. I think that's very valuable, and the listeners could probably relate to that, as in why somebody's going to sponsor a mental health podcast. Because without you, we'd be struggling. We would be struggling because there are, when we first started this, we didn't have a clue really. We said we we didn't know. We were just going into it sort of blindly, but with a passion to pass on knowledge. And without you, we would really struggle to do that. You just touched on there with your own mental health and mental health issues previous. How much, and you've mentioned there about the outdoors, and that's a big contributor to a good mental health, you think?
I think so. I enjoy spending as much time as I can here, being around. You know yourself, everybody here is into mountain activities, every single person. They party hard, but they train hard. And it creates a little community, and it's that community that I think is really good for me. It's not a community based around materialistic things. Unfortunately, I spent a lot of my life in that crazy materialistic world, and it's not good for you. Yes, I enjoy a nice life. Yes, I've got nice things, but I've come to realise it's just not actually that important. Yeah, I mean, yes, you've got to be financially secure because that makes your life easier, and if you're not, that makes your life harder. But chasing your tail all the time is just a crazy thing to do. And for that to be an important part of your life, which it was for me for many, many years. I married into a quite wealthy family. And when I wasn't, I wasn't a successful businessman. And it just, that was the main cause of my mental health and my deterioration. Is trying to keep up with people you simply can't keep up with. It's as simple as that. And for the last 3-4 years being here, that just doesn't happen here. We all drive around in Fiat Pandas and wear the same clothes 2-3 times a week. It's just a completely different atmosphere, and the community is completely different. It really, really is. There are some extremely wealthy people here, but they still drive around in Pandas and wear the same clothes twice. It's. I think it's the community, and you know most of my friends. They're also your friends. You pick the phone up. There's a WhatsApp group that we all belong to called Our Soul Connector. You pick up, you stick a WhatsApp on there. It could be anything. You get 20 phone calls. Whether it be a lift down the town, or can someone help me lift a settee, or whatever. It's just an amazing place to live, and I think obviously because it's in the mountain, outdoors, the fresh air, the whatever. And I think your way you've connected that to the work you do is a definite winner, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, my own story is, totally reliant on the outdoors and exercise and community. People, like I said, because I try and keep a good circle around me. Otherwise, I can be easily sidetracked, as I think we know.
Well, it's one of the 5 pillars, isn't it? Community.
It is, yeah.
It's simple. It really is, and genuine. It's a genuine. People are here, not just from the UK. We've got within our community, there's Germans, Canadians, America. But they come here for one reason. Some are escaping their life. Some are escaping tax. I won't lie. In fact,
fair.
A large portion of them are doing that. But they come and they realise. I should be getting paid by Aaron Sally. I'm promoting them like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And they realise the importance of it. And, there's a big bunch of us. The things we do are amazing. We do hike up into the mountains, and there's barbecue areas that you scattered around, and we all take our own. You don't do that in England. You're working all the bloody time. And if you're not working all the time, you're trying to compete with your mate on the size of your house and what car you drive and all that crap.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. A big thing for me is the self-care and getting the outdoor sports and things like that. Can you just tell us, just to sum up, what does Energy Impact do and provide, just for the listeners?
Well, we started off many years ago as an energy management consultancy for non-domestic purposes, so we don't do domestic properties. It's all commercial properties, and initially we help people reduce their energy for cost reasons. You're wasting energy, better ways of doing things. There's certain technologies that you can implement and all that sort of stuff. And it's sort of evolved into more of an area of sustainability, environmental consultancy. So we get involved with not just energy. So a big part of our work is calculating businesses' carbon emissions and reporting those through various legislation schemes that they have to do, and then helping them reduce that. And we've now moved away, not moved away because it's very much part of, but I won't bore you with this, but there's different scopes of emissions. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is sort of gas and diesel and combustible fuels. 2 is like electricity. And then 3 is pretty much everything else. It's supply chain, it's biodiversity and all that sort of stuff. So mainly through the football clubs that we work for, because the Premier League are putting the clubs under a huge amount of pressure to be, just more environmentally friendly, and not just through gas and electricity, but, through, things like fan travel, and it's really interesting. So that's sort of the direction we're now going. And it's, the energy side of it's not always that interesting, but when you start getting involved with people and, just looking at their behaviour patterns and all sorts of things, So that's where this industry is going, and it's looking at every part of a business to see if you can make it more efficient, and you can operate in a different way. Things like getting schools involved, running projects with universities. So that's pretty much what we do. And then we've got a new business we're about to launch, where we've created some really sophisticated technology. Not Energy Impact is another business I'm involved with, and we're gonna create a new and exciting competitive wholesale market for the UK power market, which has never been done. Fully renewable energy, has the ability to add a fractional carbon credit to every single kilowatt. So you will not only be purchasing renewable energy, you'll be purchasing net zero energy. So that's a massive thing for when you're planning your net zero in how you reduce your emissions. So that's coming by the end of the year. It's been 5 years in the making, so that's going to be quite exciting, and it should be a big thing quite quick.
So you're not only, let me put this right. So you're not only letting people save money, you're also making the world a better place.
Yeah, it's that simple. Yeah, I mean, net zero, people have got different opinions about net zero. You could argue that I make a lot of money from net zero. I do, but I believe in it. I do believe in it. I want to do it. If you look on my LinkedIn and my website, I think the statement is, the world will be absolutely fine. It's us that live on it that won't be. Oh yeah, we've had ice ages. There is an element of parts of this being a natural thing, but we are definitely accelerating it. And I do believe in it. And the good thing is the young generation really believe in it. I've got a varied bunch of clients. Some are, coming towards the end of their working life, do not believe in it one bit. But, all the younger generation, they really do. And it doesn't cost the earth to do this. It really doesn't, excuse the pun. It's interesting. I find it really interesting. It's hard work now. It's getting bigger and bigger. Net zero is on every single news channel, every single paper, pretty much every single day. So and now the call to action from clients, where initially they did it voluntarily as a good PR exercise, now they're being forced to do it. So as a business, that makes a big difference. So that's what we do. We're money making tree huggers.
Well, I'm well known for being a tree hugger, so it all fits in perfectly, I think. And if you're helping protect the planet, protect the environment, and also helping with people's mental health directly through helping us, so you should be getting a little saint up there.
I try my best. I've not always been an angel. You know that. We've had many a drunken conversation over that. There are things in everybody's life that you're not totally proud of, but yeah, I mean, since I started, I'll be honest with you, that was probably what saved me, is coming out of employment and going and doing something myself. That made a massive difference in my life. Huge. It wasn't easy when we started. The last thing that comes to you when you start a business is money. Fortunately, my wife is employed and earns reasonable money, so we was able to give it the time required for it to become successful. But yeah, 100%. There's one particular client that I will mention, just in case. A gentleman called Eddie Rutherford from Newcastle United Football Club. He was my first major client back in 2008, and they're still my client today. He showed, for a new startup company, he showed so much trust. We put this great big proposal to him, pages and pages, and he read the whole thing. We now know you don't do that. You give him one page, and he just put the faith in us and provided budget to do it, and it was, can you imagine, your first major client, a Premier League football club, and especially in the era when Mike Ashley had it, because it was in the paper every single day. And it's just been a fantastic journey with them, and I won't lie, that is the reason I have a business of a reasonable size now, and that's because you do good work for an organisation like that, it gets known. In our industry, it's very known that myself and my team service Newcastle and have done for all those years. Yeah, so yeah, that was a big turning point in my life.
Is the company on the trajectory to be able to look at companies like the famous Leeds United who are now in the Premier League?
Never know. We are talking to the Premier League about various things because they're trying to get all of the clubs more with a joined up approach and sharing information and ideas and that is actually working. It's a good working group. So with the new business that we launch, I'm pretty certain we're going to persuade the Premier League to back that, because it'll answer a lot of their questions and tick a lot of their boxes. There's various schemes that they're trying to get all the clubs to do. So yeah, and again, they know if you filter it through clubs, then your fans start doing it. If they've got your fans own businesses, they do it. They go in. They'll go back to school and talk about it. It's a very good way of spreading a good message. So yeah, hopefully.
Cool.
These are big animals. They take a long time to tame.
Yeah. Well, on about spreading that message, we are going to continue spreading the message of helping people with their mental well-being, and we need to just say thank you, Conrad, again. Thank you for your help. Thank you for Energy Impacts. Thank you to Hannah for helping you to help us.
No, she enjoys it. She does. She's aware of it. Yeah. No, listen, guys. I provide some money. But it's what you guys do. Otherwise, I wouldn't provide it. It's that simple. I truly believe that this is a subject that people need to talk about, because you do see it every single day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Conrad.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Take care. And hopefully you're off the hook, mate. That's it, done. Until for another 25 episodes, and then we will get to 100. But hopefully we will be seeing you at some point, because I'm trying to persuade a few people to come out, and including Seb, get back out skiing this season. Yeah. So that'd be cool. And with that, thank you very much.
No problem. You enjoy it.
Thanks, Conrad.
Nice meeting you.
You take care.
All right. Ciao.